Yes, guys, welcome back to ShootOut. Eunice and I didn't want to have this conversation, but we feel like we have to because I feel like crossroads, opportunity, moment, weekend, Chelsea lost to Brighton. So now we've taken the path that we didn't want to take, Eunice. It's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good at all.
It's not looking good at all. And this is a good topic to have because I think out of all the fixtures this weekend, even, out of everybody, everyone's looking at Chelsea going, and Liverpool lost, but everyone's focusing on Chelsea. And is it the same pattern emerging that we've seen over the last 2-3 years that we're now starting to see happen again? And that's the concern.
It feels like it is.
Yeah.
And as a Chelsea fan, it's difficult to not feel pessimistic at this moment because, unfortunately, with Chelsea, right, it's very rarely just one piece of the puzzle goes wrong. It usually all goes wrong.
Yeah.
And that will either be in the past, Abramovich would be a bit upset about something, and then he just like, oh, get out. Maybe it was premature, maybe it wasn't. A lot of the times it didn't matter because we just won everything, didn't we?
Helicopter
Yeah.
at Cobham.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's gone.
Tunnel in Everton. Don't worry, Carlo, mate. You'll get another job. You'll win more Champions Leagues. All's good. But in this case, it feels like the players are kind of just not performing at all. It feels like Maresca is losing the plot because his decisions make no sense. And then there are also rumours of board discontent. That is not a concoction that brings you a delicious cocktail per weekend, is it?
No, and I know over the last 24 hours now, we've heard Chelsea, the board, are fully backing Maresca, right? All behind him, no problem. The fact that we have to hear that concerns me.
Yeah.
Because more times than not, when you start hearing that, it's going to go one way. We heard it for Graham Potter at West Ham. Fully backing Potter. Where is he now? We're hearing that about Ruben Amorim at the moment. Probably won't last because United are heading in one direction. If Chelsea head in one direction too, considering that Maresca's already been here for nearly 18 months, right? Then writing's on the wall. But for me, this is where it's different to most clubs. Most clubs will look at a situation and go, that's fine, just sack the manager. That's all that needs to be done. It's solely on the manager. With Chelsea, and this is why fans, after this result against Brighton, and just, a few games of really poor form has shifted the entire perspective of the fan base. Unlike no other fan base. And why? And we alluded to this. Because of the past 2-3 years. Because of every time we've noticed a pattern emerging where Chelsea do take a nosedive, and when we take a nosedive, we take it hard. So
Yeah.
Fans are anticipating that we are on the brink of this starting again. And it's justifiably so why fans are concerned now.
I want to unpack something because we've heard a lot of different things across the footballing journalistic world in the last few days regarding Chelsea. And the Brighton result obviously amplifies that noise even more. But we're hearing that Maresca's targets for this season set by the board were to get the Champions League. Now, my qualm is if Maresca keeps delivering poor results, which makes said target impossible, do we wait until the end of the season and then be like, well, you're fired because you didn't get it? Or is this a case of Maresca's actually more of the problem, therefore remove the problem, get another manager in and it solves it? Or is this just the history of the Chelsea, mate, where I'm thinking that could solve it, but then I also personally believe, and I think it's important when I'm asking this question, to also say, I believe Maresca can turn it around. But what if he doesn't? If we don't beat Benfica and we don't beat Liverpool, do we get to a point where the season is almost gone already?
It would feel that way. But again, I ask why. And this is where just turning to Maresca and just, okay, sacking him, then what? This isn't like under Roman. Under Roman, you knew. The issue isn't the team. It's well equipped. There's loads of players there that should be able to get you the job done. Top players. That spine was ruthless. Managers not delivering, no worries. We'll find someone that will deliver. That's it. That was the formula. And it worked. Constantly it worked. Now, though, that's not the case because there's other questions, irrespective of the coach, irrespective of Maresca, no matter who is in charge of the team. But there's always questions on recruitment. There's always questions on what Maresca wanted at the start of the season, for example. The whole centre-back goalkeeper situation, and we were all briefed during the summer and told this from all the outlets that were giving us the news, that he wanted a centre-back. He wanted a goalkeeper. Never really happened. And now we're in the situation where we can't defend to save our lives because Levi Cole was out for a long period of time. When you spend 1 or 2 billion or however much we've actually spent now, which Chelsea are criticised for on the basis of you've spent that much money, you should be able to get yourselves a decent team that are fighting for honours. Then how much is that on Maresca? But I also do think in this present moment, whilst there's no other tangibles that you can change, Maresca isn't helping himself in games when he does have the options available to try and push towards a result and he retreats. Yeah. That's the only thing that Maresca has control of that he's not doing that I look to Maresca for. But outside from that, we shouldn't be in a situation right now. And this is where Jamie Carragher, we've heard, constantly talking about Chelsea spending, Chelsea's ambition, where they should be and what they don't have in terms of defending. We shouldn't be in a situation where we spent this much and don't really have a back four. I mean, that's not good enough at all. And this is the reality, though. But Maresca, in this present time, we saw it against United, we saw it against Brighton, he's almost not willing to go and use the options that he has in his team to go and get a result, but relying on our weakness right now, which is the one thing we're criticising, which is our defence. We ain't got one.
I saw a ridiculous picture. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny. Have you seen it where, like, this is a Chelsea team build, right? You've got Joao Pedro up top, and then you've got every defender that we've got at the club and Sanchez in goal. So it's like a 9-1, basically. It feels like this is what he's trying to do, game by game.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main... You could look at it down the angle, and part of me does believe this. I don't want to believe it, but because it ends up with the inevitable sacking of Maresca. It's almost as if he's like doing it because I don't see any logic behind these subs whatsoever. So my only other conclusion must be trying to send a message.
But this is where is it worth sending a message? Do you know what I mean? Because you're costing your team games at this point. Like, basically, or you're not giving yourself the highest opportunity
to succeed.
To succeed, yeah. Or to just try and go out and get something in this present moment. It all online just to try and send a message. I mean, it can't be changed. It can't be changed. And as much as I sympathise with Maresca on this point, because, yeah, realistically, this defence isn't cut out. It's not cut out.
No.
This is why we're defending, this is why we've said the way to beat Chelsea right now is very, very easy. And this is why I'm scared of Jose and Benfica on Tuesday.
He'll know this.
Oh, come on. If you're just spamming crosses into the box and, we know what Jose likes in terms of his counterattacks, you're just being able to get in behind that defence, you're going to score. You're going to score. So this is why I sympathise with Maresca on this point. But what can you have control over right now? We can't go into a transfer market. It's closed. We can't, turn to anyone else, even the players that we have on loan. They're on loan. We have to make do with what we've got. If Maresca is trying to, even when we go down to 10, use the attackers that we've got. You mentioned this, which was a phenomenal point. And this is where we also bring in recruitment. We have £85 million worth of winger on the bench that is not being turned to. In Gittins and Garnacho. But I can also sympathise with why we're not, especially with Gittins. Respectfully, 55 million. No.
He's not ready.
But this is where fans go, we could have spent that on the centre-back. And I agree.
That is all true.
It's
and
all
those
true.
things can all coexist. But
exactly.
Maresca's got to just get that out of his head.
But this is the thing. And this is why, for example, not using Garnacho. For Gittins, we've seen. Garnacho, we've not really seen. We can't say whether he's going to stink up the place or he's going to just light it up. Because we've not even played him properly yet. So this is where you have options to maybe try and get something going. We're talking about how proactive Arteta was to go and get results.
Yeah.
This is where Maresca needs to earn his money. If he does that and it still doesn't work, then you can't look at Maresca. If he's tried and exhausted every option, then you can go, you know what? The level is just not good enough.
I also think it's important for Maresca to understand how, and I don't want to speak for all Chelsea fans here, but I think a large consensus that I've seen, and this validates my feeling as well. Why are we going defensive when we know we can't defend? I would much rather
This is the
right
point.
now see Chelsea just attack. Like the fact that Esteval Willian is being bought off in both of these matches, and then from the moment he comes off, we create nothing. We have zero ability to take on a man. We don't get past anybody. Esteval is the guy that's making things happen. Look at some of the runs he made against Brighton. Why are you bringing this kid off?
Yeah.
He is desperate to prove a point. It's not, we need to give him time to bleed into the rubbish. This kid doesn't need time. He needs time on the pitch. He doesn't need time to slowly ease him in. We can't put too much pressure. No. If Cole Palmer isn't there, we need a potential match winner on the pitch.
Yep.
And Joao Pedro is a potential match winner, but he can't do the role of what 6 players should be doing support.
Exactly.
He's isolated, bro. He's got no one near him. We can't find him the ball because you take off all the players that can get him the ball.
Exactly.
And this has got to stop. And look, I understand also red cards massively change matches. If Maresca isn't now planning for how to deal with games where we've been sent off, because look, Chelsea are real disciplined. There's no if, buts or maybes about it.
Exactly.
We now need to know what to do and know that bringing on all the defenders, taking off all the attackers, that don't work, mate. So if I see that happen again, no wonder people are going to start saying, Maresca out.
No, of course. And this is why I say it's best if he tries and exhaust every possible option, including, in this situation, our only thing that we can stick to get a result is our attack. If you take that off, you've chopped our hands off. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
But even if you try and rely on defending, we ain't got the defenders to defend. That's just the reality right now that we can see. Even if hindsight is a beautiful thing and hindsight is 2020, we are seeing it now. It's clear. We can't defend. So you have to give yourself the opportunity. And the only opportunity that we have is to not cut off João Pedro's hands and just have him up there by himself waiting for a miracle to happen. But he needs to have the players around him, and to try and put the other team on the back foot is the only way to defend. We go back to the old adage of what Pele used to say all those decades ago. The best form of defense is attack.
100%.
That's all we can turn to. Now, if we had defenders like we used to have in JT and Ricardo and Gallas and Ashley Cole and Ferreira and Ivanovic and Aspie and all these guys, then no problem. If you want to protect the 1-0 lead, we can do it. We can't do that. We ain't got the personnel. So we have to use what we got. This is where Maresca has to see things logically. But we have to acknowledge that the resources that we have at the moment, especially in that area of the pitch, we have some good players that we've brought in, but in defence, we are seriously lacking, and it shouldn't be the case to be in this situation. And this is where you turn to the recruitment, and you turn to the directors, and you turn to the ownership. It's not good enough to be in this situation again where fans are anticipating things to take another nosedive because of the past 2-3 years and this money that's been spent. This is where I hear Jamie Carragher. I know he got a lot of hate in terms of how he keeps talking about Chelsea, but when he talks about balance of having experience with youth, it makes sense. It makes sense. He's not wrong.
I don't think any Chelsea fan would argue that we didn't need experience, which I also think it's overdone that people don't think we need. Everyone can see this team needs experience. I mean, look at Aston Villa. Bad start to the season. Look who showed up in the Champions League and in the Premier League this weekend to win them 2 games in a row. Or the Europa League, sorry. John McGinn. Leader. Proper warrior out there. Fighter. Digs in, finds a way, scored on the Europa League, scored yesterday in the Premier League to make it 2-1 Aston Villa.
Yep.
People will say, Aston Villa have arrived now. That's what you said this morning in the review, sorry. Chelsea need those kind of players right now. But, we can't. Cole Palmer's not fit. Caicedo, we can't rely on him every game.
But this is also in relation to the red cards and the sending offs that we're getting, which are, they're situations that are completely avoidable. It's like I've said, we keep shooting ourselves in the feet. Brentford, it was our mistake. Bayern Munich, we were naive. United, we killed ourselves after 4 minutes. This game against Brighton, we shoot ourselves in the feet again. This isn't based on the opposition outplaying us. This is on us just decapitating ourselves.
Yeah.
And that comes from a lack of discipline as well. Now, we saw on the back end of last season a real shift in mentality. And even during the Club World Cup, a real shift in mentality where everyone was on the same page and really going for it. And that shows you what we possibly can do with everyone fit and everyone locked in. But when you have a young team like this, you're going to get moments where maybe they switch off a little bit, or maybe they become a little bit naive, or maybe they just don't see things as serious as maybe they should. And when you result in red cards like we've seen where it just shouldn't be happening, that comes from lack of discipline and maturity. You don't have that if you have, when we say experience, it's this sort of experience that prevents these sort of situations, because they are locked in. No matter how the game is going, they know how to navigate it. And that's what we lack at the moment as well.
But that's also where you need your manager to step up, because
Yes.
Enzo Maresca needs to, and I think this also helps fans, because at the moment it's so easy to see negative decision lead to a negative result, which expedites the process of people falling out with Maresca.
100%.
If you go in for it and you're actually when you attack and when you try and score goals, naturally the belief is instilled throughout the team.
Yes.
But then that translates to the fans, which, even if we're talking about Maresca's job here, gives him more time.
100%.
And right now, personally, if the next game against Benfica finishes 5-5, don't care that we conceded 5 goals.
No.
Because I expect it. Because we got poor defenders.
Yep.
End of story.
Yep.
It's
agree.
facts.
I agree. This is where the anticipation of the fans comes in, because the fans are not stupid.
Yeah.
Overall, especially at Chelsea, if we know we had the personnel to defend and we were protecting a 1-0 lead, the fans would be cool with it. Like we were for years. You just knew. John Obi Mikel's coming on the pitch. It's fine, lads. We got this. We can chill for 20 minutes after 70. We're just like, we're going to win 1-0. It's fine. And that's exactly what would happen, because we have the right personnel. Fans have expectations based on what we clearly have and what we can do. We can't defend. So naturally, when you start relying on that, fans are going to get nervous. That in turn has an effect on what's going on in the ground, because everyone all of a sudden has nervous energy. It makes sense. But if you are pushing forward to use your strengths, in this instance, to overload on the attack, even if you're one man down, a team with 10 men can still win a game. If you're putting everything on the front foot and you're trying to put the other team on the back foot and you're not inviting pressure, the fans will acknowledge that and go, no, yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. And in turn, that's going to actually create a better atmosphere, even if it means we're trying to protect ourselves by attacking. Because fans understand. This is where these results that we've seen, why, despite the statistics, people are going to look to the stats and look at Chelsea and look at Maresca, and it doesn't look bad. From Maresca in his first and his time here, he's on a 61 point, I think, something win percentage. That's up there with Jose and Carlo and Conte, right? When you're looking at the last 30 games, we've only lost 7.
That's still not good enough, though, is it?
I would say, compared to most teams, we won 19. That's, when you look at that, there shouldn't be a crisis feeling. But there is. And why? Because for the last 2-3 years, whenever we start hitting this patch of form, Chelsea fans, fans are not stupid.
Yeah.
It's always been a nosedive. Fans right now are anticipating Chelsea to fall into oblivion, because that's exactly how it was for the last few seasons.
So beat Benfica and beat Liverpool.
And it might actually get okay.
And this is what most of the time, with all of the managers before Maresca, right? Not a single part of me believed in those managers to turn it around. Pochettino, to be fair, didn't expect that from him at the end.
No.
It wasn't enough for him to remain, but I didn't expect that. Maresca, I think, has got it in him.
What, like last season? We were in a nosedive, everything collapsed.
But
and
the nosedive this time doesn't have to be so long. Please.
And because it's come so early, especially off the back of winning the Club World Cup, and, like I said, there was a shift of mentality towards the back end of last season. We didn't expect this so soon.
Yeah.
Not like this. And we talk about fitness and the Club World Cup, and we can see PSG, for example, are littered with injuries at the moment to all their big players. I'm not surprised. But I didn't expect it this soon. But on top of that, there's other layers here as to why we keep shooting ourselves in the feet. And that's what's causing nervous energy. And that is why fans are anticipating maybe this is going to be the beginning of what we've seen for the past 2-3 years, which is just shouldn't be happening.
I also have one concern that we've not spoken about yet, and I've not spoken about it on my channel. Don't bring Cole Palmer back for Liverpool if he's not fit.
He has to be back at 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
If we see, and I'm going to say it because I think it might end up being like this, and I don't know the extent of what's going on with him. But if he's out for 5 weeks, and then during the international break we're like, oh, we should do surgery, I think. medical, Chelsea, get better. How is Delap out for that long?
I mean, now we're talking about 2026.
Yeah.
Which isn't a surprise. Because, again, we talk historically. With Chelsea over the last 3 years, it's been a case where we get a time frame. I don't know if other clubs are the same here, by the way. Let us know in the comments. But we get a time frame. Just double it.
But like also,
Just double it.
how is it between 3 and 6 weeks? Like, is it not 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks? Surely at the top level of athleticism, in top level sport, should we not know better?
Well, this is the thing. Normally, yes. But with Chelsea, we get given a time frame. And it's always, add an extra month or two on that.
Sometime between now and the end of his contract, he will return.
He will be back. And now, like, we heard November. Now we're hearing 2026.
Yeah.
That's another 2 months on top of that.
Obviously, get well soon to every
Of
injured
course.
player at Chelsea
Of
right
course.
now. But purely from a trying to make sense of everything, trying to understand where we can start to feel like it's going to get better.
Well, this is
That
where,
would also help.
This is what Chelsea are anticipating. So we talk about the hierarchy and what we've heard over the last 24 hours is that they're not so fussed. Well, not fussed, that's the wrong word. They're not panicking. They're not panicking over the recent results because of injuries and because of red cards. That's what we've been told, right? In terms of the press, I think we've had a few journalists say this. Off the back of last season, I can get that. I see why, because we did turn it around then. But right now, we don't show any sign of turning it around whatsoever. And the games that are coming up are some of the hardest fixtures that we're going to play. We ain't got a choice but to try and turn it around. And I feel like, unlike last season where we were equipped, it was just a mentality thing, and we could see that there was a switch after a certain point. We have injuries now. We have players suspended. We have all of this. We're going to play Liverpool. Do we even have a back line for Liverpool?
Well, we don't know. We got Hato and Josh Achampong.
That's going to be our centre-back pairing, basically.
Because Jorgensen knocked out Fafana. Bro, I think I need a little minute. I think we should just say, look, Benfica and Liverpool, we're coming for you, all right? We're going to beat you.
We're like that 4-year-old
We
that
got
steps
to.
up to their older brother and goes, yeah, I'm going to
I'm
beat
going
you.
to knock you out, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, we've honestly, this time next week, this video will make more sense.
Yes.
That's all I think we can say, because at the moment it's pure, like, we all know we should have made better signings in the summer. We all know that we've probably wasted money in certain positions that we shouldn't have spent, and we should have bought a goalie. We should have bought a centre-back. For whatever reason, people at the club thought we didn't need it. Well, we did.
Yeah.
All right? You lot were wrong. Sorry. Great players, some of them. Esteval, Joao Pedro, brilliant signings. Liam Delap, who bloody knows? We haven't seen him play yet, really, have we?
Yep.
So we don't know.
Yep.
But it makes no sense. Again.
No.
And that's what's so hard about this. I feel like it's just a big roundabout when there's no exit.
And on top of that, the extra layer, right, that we have in terms of issues, unlike any other club will just look to their manager, maybe a couple of players that they signed, and that's it. Now with us, we've got the financials, we've got the UEFA settlement. We can't go over a certain level now, a certain bracket. If not, we're breaching the rule, we're breaching the settlement, and then we'd be knocked out of European competition for 3 years. This is in place for 4 years. No other club has this circumstance. It's just, this is why it's so unique. So even if you're not a Chelsea fan, let us know what you think on the outside, looking in, of Chelsea and this situation, because it'd be a very interesting perspective to see how things are looking from the outside rather than us who are almost on the inside because it's our club.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see.
And Chelsea fans too. If you want to have a rant, have a rant.
Yeah,
we'll
let
go
us
through
know
the
your
comments.
thoughts.
We'll have a read. And I think it's Benfica tomorrow. Stream.
Oh, God.
We'll be there.
Jose back at the bridge.
I know some of you might not want to watch. The curse ends tomorrow. All right? I'm telling you. I'm convinced.
Jose, mate, I know you love us. Yeah. Can you just, 3 points?
Bro,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm losing
We'll
all
give you
personal integrity here.
we'll give you your own suite, the Mourinho suite. Yeah, at the bridge. You're welcome anytime. It'll be yours. Like, can you just 3
That
points,
should
please?
exist already, to be
That
fair.
should exist already.
Yeah.
He should have a statue.
Yeah.
We'll get you a statue. At 3 point statue.
I'll
Yeah?
build it
Like that.
myself.
Yeah, we'll fly back to London to build the statue.
Get the concrete from Al Kuz, mate. Why people know. Oh,
Honestly.
in a bit, people.